All right, everybody in the stream.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hello.
check it out. It's a possum on
Wow.
a treadmill from a different angle. Look at this.
Possum on a treadmill.
We got a possum on a treadmill. It's very odd to me that somebody would do this to one of these creatures. I mean, look at him getting that cardio.
You know
in.
what? You know what? I think he looks like a Seymour.
He does look like a Seymour. I guess his name
If
is
I-
Piglet.
Is it,
No.
oh, well, if I had him, if he was my possum, I would name him Seymour.
Yep.
Because then, couldn't you just imagine him sitting on his back legs and looking at you, and you could tell he was saying, "Feed me, Seymour, feed me."
No. I wonder what they. Well, why would you? It was like, oh man, my possum sure needs a workout today.
Well, he was getting chubby.
No kidding. Come on, get up. All you've been doing is playing dead all day.
Exactly.
No. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Jonathan of Vigilance with his Today to Day Media, and we are watching a possum on a treadmill. It's a beautiful sight. And we've got a few things to talk about today. Mostly possums on treadmills. But besides the fact, let's go ahead and let's see here.
Let's go ahead and open in prayer.
Yeah, let's open in prayer there. Lord, thank you for bringing us together safely tonight. Thank you for letting me get to do this with my buddies. Lord, protect us and keep us safe. Just continue to bless us, Lord, and keep us in your will. Make us as warriors, Lord. Amen.
Amen. You know what? You know the reason why
Shoot.
there was a possum on a treadmill?
Why is that?
Because we had to open with something to take our extreme rage out with.
Mm-hmm.
To cool us off.
Yes, because the government overreach is real and it is large.
Indeed.
It's really bad. So, like, the main thing we're talking about today is an old white man. The old white man pouring his heart out for the African American communities by telling them they're too stupid to make their own decisions, and for their sake banning a luxury that they enjoy: menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars. So, menthol flavored cigarettes and flavored cigars as a whole, Biden is basically outlawing them outright, full force. No more of that, not because they were a general health risk to everyone. No, not because they killed, countless people, but because they killed black people, and he cares about black people. So the best way to show that he cares about black people is to forcefully take things away from them.
Yet the CDC said that, and they were full in, like, behind Biden with this, that it was going to force 230,000 African Americans to quit smoking in their minds. But
Impressive.
here's the issue with that. You see, do you guys remember? Obviously none of us can remember that, but remember in the history books this little thing called, I don't know, prohibition?
Yeah, I remember the
In the
prohibition.
1920s?
I was there.
Yeah. And so
I lived it.
decided, the government in all their wisdom decided that alcohol at that time was bad, right?
Yep.
And so they banned it. And did that make people quit drinking?
Nah, not really.
That wanted to get a drink?
No.
No?
Even
No,
the cops
no, it
did it. The cops
Yep.
drank too.
Yep.
I mean,
Everybody was drinking. But
Yeah.
the lips that touch liquor will never touch mine, I'll have you know.
And so nicotine is 10 times more addictive than alcohol.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if you are a pack-a-day smoker with, let's say, Cools, you're going to find a way to get your Cools.
Mm-hmm. Find it.
I have a great idea, and if somebody wants to take it and run with it, they can unless I decide to do it.
Keep on talking. Sorry, guys. Just give me a heads up. I'm going to get some water. absolutely
keep on going.
botched.
I got a great idea. So, depending on how the wording is, if they just ban cigarettes and cigars,
Uh-huh.
what you do is you go to one of those smoke shops where they sell the it's like roll your own, but it's not, because they pack the tobacco in a pre-made tube.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Gotcha. Okay.
get the flavoring for menthol and make your own and bootleg them.
Yeah. You can even grow your own tobacco, by the way.
No, absolutely, completely legal.
Yeah.
Completely fine.
No,
Now,
no,
granted,
it's legal.
that
You
being
can
said,
legally grow tobacco.
It's just not without a license.
Yeah.
Without a license, man, keeps falling over. Anyways, without a license, it's not legal to sell tobacco. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
So it's kind of
Mhm.
funny, right? It's like they keep putting these new regulations on, stacking it on, putting all these freaking loops and bounds in, and it's just getting to the point where people are just gonna say, you know what? Stop caring. Stop caring.
Mhm.
Why? It's like every time I get a license to do something, they invent another license, another bill,
Mhm.
another regulation. So you know what? And I'm going to say it. Is today the day media supports the black market?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Go get it.
And is today the media supports your right? We're not saying it's good for you, because it's not, but we support your right to smoke menthol cigarettes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, we don't believe that we have the authority over you to make life decisions for you.
Mhm.
Correct.
And that's just it. It's like if I was in a position of power, which I'm really not. I mean, we have 700 followers on our Facebook page, most of which, hey, everybody, let people know that we do this on Fridays. It'd be great. But we're not really in a position of power. But if I was, I would hopefully. I mean, I've never really been in that, but isn't it just strange how these people come in and they're just like, hey, you stop that. I've been doing it my whole life. Will you stop it now? Well, why? Because we deem it best. And we know what's best for you. Hey, there's a song you like to sing, isn't there, War Spirit? I don't know. Maybe you don't.
I don't know.
Maybe it was someone else. I swear someone used to shatter my ears with the song from Tangled. It was very much like the government. It must not have been you then. It was someone else.
Oh,
but...
you're talking about Governor knows best.
Yeah. So
Governor
Shall
knows
Lou
best. Listen to your governor. Governor knows best.
Yes, that's the one. Except it's, of course, instead of just being isolated in our state, our own little pit of tyranny, now it's across the whole country. Because we've got, nothing but leftist governors, half-wit Republicans.
You got Spread
Democrats.
Eagle Kamala and Pea Pants Joe singing it.
And it's quite sad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But, it is what it is. So, IT.
Yes.
It'll be alright if we kind of talk about the importance of, like, a backwoods cigar.
Oh yeah, dude. That
I'd
was
sit
like.
down.
Yeah.
I'd sit down with you.
Uh huh.
And we'd be out doing bonfires with the lads. And just kind of some context for the show. IT is a longtime brother of mine for 7 years now.
Indeed.
It's
like a marriage at this point.
Oh yeah, no, we've been inseparable.
Uh-huh.
No, we've been great friends for a long time. Old me and IT. And I remember when I turned 18. Because back in the day, you could still, buy cigarettes and cigars and all manners of lung cancer at 18. And I would sit down and I would be smoking cigars over the fire. And they would smell good. And everybody loved them, Even let IT even puff on it, It was great.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoyed ourselves. And there's just something about bonding with a cigar. I mean, it's not absolutely necessary. But it's just like one of those things. Like, even my father and I would smoke cigars.
Mm-hmm.
It's inherently American. So, I mean, like, yeah, menthol cigarettes, I get it. I'm not a big fan of menthol cigarettes. I love menthol vape. Not a big fan of menthol cigarettes, though. But I still, not being a big fan, am totally okay with people smoking menthol cigarettes. That's their decision. In fact, there was a 1950s video I might have to go look up while you guys are talking. There was a 1950s video that was like, well, America is about the right to smoke, even the right not to smoke, or what brand that you want to smoke. What is that genuine, like, 1950s PSA about voting right, like voting correctly?
Yeah, definitely.
And it was just kind of like explaining, it's like, well, what if you don't want to smoke? And that sort of thing. It's very simple. It's very grade school. There's a lot of that going on. So, like, and to kind of get into my main annoyance with this is that it is targeted, and they're literally saying it flat to people's faces. Yes, we think we're smarter than black people. That is literally what they're doing, and they're saying it right to their face.
Just looking down, like, at their nose, you know.
Yeah, out their nose. Yeah,
just,
so
yeah.
Yes, the poor black person. Oh yes, look at them from my mansion.
Menthol cigarettes.
Oh, menthol cigarettes.
Dare you?
Yeah, no, it's disgusting in my opinion.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
it's the same as oh, perhaps other poors should help them and pay them reparations for what we did. You know, just kind of throwing that out there.
Yeah, indeed.
That reminds me of a meme I saw this week, explaining the difference between equality and equity.
Is that the one with the baseball field?
Yes. So there's these three kids, to give the audience, paint a picture for the audience, and they're looking over this fence at a baseball game. And the left picture shows equality. They all have the same height of box, where, you know, the short guy, he can barely see over the fence.
I'll pull it up for him, everybody.
Yeah.
Where is it? There we go. Here's a picture, everyone, if you'll look at your screens, of exactly what he's talking about.
So as you'll see on the left, they're all the same. They can all see. One can barely see, but they can all see. And then on the right, they're like, well, we want to make, that's equity. Like, we want to make everybody miserable. So we make sure that the tall guy has to stand in a hole so he can't see it all. And that way, everybody gets screwed over and can't see. That's equity. And that's what they're pushing. See, there's the wording in a lot of these things that the Biden administration, they say equity.
My gosh. Look at, I didn't even read this. Look at the caption on the photo. Right there underneath there. You see that?
Actually, white supremacy at work.
I'm not on, where you, okay. You're just looking at it on the YouTube, I guess.
Well, I was looking at it on Discord. Oh, it's only streaming. Oh, wait, what? You should be able to see. Oh, for some reason it's not streaming for you guys.
No, it's not.
Okay, stand by.
Yeah, the stream closed. There you go.
Yeah, that's odd. Okay, anyways.
That was odd. There we go.
Yeah, so here you have this. This is what I had up for the audience. The equality versus equity. So take War Spirit's words there and just kind of reverse them, I suppose. And that's exactly it. I mean, because equal opportunities is what I would consider equity, but I do think it's really funny to me that just this picture explaining this, again, grade school concept, white and black, right? Like this left and right, you know, the triangle goes in the triangle hole and the square goes in the square hole is white supremacy. You know, it's white supremacy.
Exactly.
Don't look at this. Don't look at any of this. It's white supremacy because it makes sense. And that's just it. This is the game they're playing.
The ones that you're finding too on there, that's hilarious that they make equity look like it's all like perfect and wonderful, because that's not the one that I posted.
I don't know. Maybe it's all backwards. I don't know.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. Communists have really torn this one up. Here's a good one. Let me pull that one up. Hold on. Throw that up. There you go. Justice.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty great.
Love the axe. Going into the
cultural organizing. Gee,
Wow.
I wonder if this could be some Marxist website.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder.
Here, I sent it to you on pennies to look at to show.
All right,
Maybe you can throw it up for them or something.
Yeah, let me go ahead and put the screen back up here. That way they're not seeing all of my Facebooks.
Yes.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a lot
true.
better. Yeah. Let me
That's
throw
true.
that up on screen.
Equality versus equity.
Yeah.
See, the tall guy actually has to stand in a hole. Like, that makes it fair.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot more sense there. Let me, yeah, there we go. Have a look at that. That's what we mean to say. That's the point we're trying to get across here.
Yeah, that bullcrap that you just showed, the Google was trying to make equity sound like it was equality.
Right.
They made it flipped. But this is true equity.
Yeah.
Where everyone's... See, equity, guys, that's audience, that is socialism. That is communism. Where, well, yeah, we all live in this crappy apartment and we drive a Lada that breaks down all the time. But we all drive that, so it's fair.
Right.
We're all miserable. We all get paid
the,
crappy wages.
Here comes the class executive in their Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I always love that. There was a meme I saw. It was pretty great. It was a picture of freaking General Chairman Xi Jinping. And it was a gold statue that they're constructing for him, and it said everyone under communism is equal. Meanwhile, it's all up like this picture of this massive golden statue being built of the party members. And I'm just like, yeah, that's welcome to communism. This is what you wanted.
Sounds about right.
Something I wanted to talk about today because it came up yesterday. Have you heard of the 50-cent party, Worshiper?
The 50-cent party. I guess I have not.
So.
Oh, you mean you're talking about Wu Mao's?
Yes. The 50-cent party is an actual. The fact that I'm glad that this is still up on Wikipedia. Definitely share that one around because this is a very real thing here. Window captures. 50 Cent into club. No, not that. Look up a little
not
bit.
That.
So the 50-cent party. The 50-cent party, simplified by Google.com. Golly. 50-cent party, 50-cent army, and Wu Mao are terms for internet commentators who are suspected of being hired by the authorities of the People's Republic of China to manipulate public opinion and disseminate disinformation to the benefit of the governing Chinese Communist Party.
Bam.
Governing Chinese Communist Party? Okay, Google, that's a little bit weird. I think you like slipped up a little bit here. Say it might be the governing Communist Party in China, but wait a minute, is it here too? So, anyways, it just was a little bit of an interesting thing because these things are real. These people are real. We ran into one last night. I strongly believe it. I'm not going to go into who it was or whatever, but a good friend of ours was like, hey, check out this person talking to us. And I was like, oh, wow, a Wu Mao. Which, again, sorry for using the word Wu Mao. Apparently that's a white supremacist term, according to Wu Mao's.
Yeah, no, it was crazy just how much he was
just
deflecting every question. Yeah, it was
gone.
crazy.
Yeah, and that's like, hey, Tiananmen Square Massacre, 1989. Well, Americans, what? Vietnam. You know, it's like you're
Okay.
gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there wasn't really too much to talk about tonight. I know we had the cigarettes. We had the Woo Mows. I mean, the bonding of cigarettes. I think it is kind of tragic, though. It's like I don't know. It's like we might as well call him Reagan, you know, or not Reagan, JFK for the Cuban embargo.
Yeah, I know. It's
White supremacy much there, Biden? um. So what all did we have to chat it up about today, Worship? I know you had that. Let me have a look at the notes here.
Hold on one second, guys. I'm answering some interesting things I'll have to talk to you guys about in some insider baseball about later.
Okay. Let's see here. We have ourselves dead air is what we got.
No dead air. No
Yeah,
dead air.
Joy
What we got?
Behar.
put on the possum. Put on the possum.
Yeah, put on the possum.
Put on the possum.
So there was a Republican, a black Republican senator, that said, for the most part, Americans are not inherently racist.
No.
Yes.
What?
And Joe Behar, the liberal wench that she is gone out and said that she needs to educate him on how systemic racism works. Now, let me for you audience members who don't know who Joe Behar is, she's an extreme liberal white lady. So we have a white lady white splaining to a black man.
Yep.
And
Isn't
she
it just
says
oh.
she is the one that says that we are racist.
Yep.
Yeah, that happened just today.
Because they don't know any better. These poor oppressed blacks, they don't know any better, War Spirits.
I was laughing my butt off today. Ben Shapiro covered it.
Oh no.
What did he say?
Is Ben Shapiro just modern day political Keemstar? Does he just like comment on drama?
He said he was just talking about it. He's all Joy. And he said that quit your white splaining.
Yep.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yep.
I was laughing, and he said, sure, he said, is there racists in America? Sure, there are. He said, I have had to deal with it numerous times with anti-Semitism, but does that mean that the majority of Americans are racist? No. He said, I don't come to my house every day and have, people saying that I should be what did he say? Basically that he should be sent off to Auschwitz, but I forgot how he said it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He said that's not a common occurrence.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the black Republican, I can't remember his name, the one that said that this and you guys can look up it's all over Google right now. It's a big headline. He said, I have had to deal with racism in my life from people. He said, so he has seen racism in this nation. But again, it was from a minority of people.
Yep.
Bam.
That's true, man.
You have just a few people that make especially conservatives and the right look like idiots.
Yep.
Exactly.
We have dealt with individuals in our own lives
Yep.
that were racists. And guess what we did, John?
Just booted them.
We booted them.
Yeah,
we cut them out of our lives. We cut them off like an infected wart.
Yep. No, racism is just stupid. It's a symbol of low intelligence. It is like the copy paste symbol of like really really high chromosomes and really really low IQ. 'Cause it's like, oh, the thing looks different. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared. Or it's like, oh, this thing looks different. It's responsible. Oh, I'm muted. I apologize for our listeners. I apologize for our listeners. Oh wait, no, that wasn't me. That was the media source. I've been talking this whole time. Anyways, no, that's just it. The racism is stupid, and most people you run into aren't racist. And racism has become, it's basically a word that's like been given teeth, right? It's been given teeth. And these racists have been given teeth as well. And the left, in their constant gnawing at this non-existent issue, has actually created an issue, and it needs addressed. It's like, now racism is back. And it's not the right's fault, it's the left. Because they were so darn tootin' to push this division. No. These black people, they're different than you, and don't you get it twisted. What? That's the message you're going with? I just see them as my equal. No. No.
None of that.
Yeah. They get all uppity.
Yep.
They're
Well,
absolutely not.
With all that said, Shapiro said another very interesting, talked about a statistic. And this statistic doesn't matter if you're black or white or brown. He talks about, because he said, is there systemic racism? No. He said, because everybody has the same opportunity in this country. And there's three major things at the Brooklyn Institute of Science. They did a study. And there's three things that successful people have, and that the majority of people that have these things do not live in poverty. And one is to get a job and hold a steady job. That's one. Two, get married. Believe it or not, that's a big one. Because then you have somebody to lean on, you have a partner. So you're going to be more successful because you're not trying to do everything by yourself. And number three, don't have kids until you're married.
Oh, yeah. A big one there.
Those three things right there, they said that is the biggest contributing factors to success in the average American citizen.
Absolutely. And I've seen it carbon copy again. I mean, there's all these couples. Oh, woe is me. I had 4 children, which is fine. I'm happy that people are bringing children to the world, but they're sitting there.
Can you support them?
Yeah, it's like, oh, woe is me. I had 4 children with 5 different men. And now all I do is spend my government money on menthol cigarettes, and now I can't even have those. You know, it's really quite funny.
That's like the poor lady that had 10 sons, and she always used to go to the park, and she talked to this guy. She got to talking to this guy, and she's like, "Oh, you have 10 sons?" She says, "Yes, sir." Well, man, that must be really crazy. Like, do you even just remember their names? No, they're all named George. They're all named George. Yeah. This makes it pretty easy. I say, George, clean your room. 10 boys go clean their room. George, eat your supper. 10 boys eat their supper. George, take a bath. 10 boys take a bath. Well, ma'am, that's all well and good, but what do you do if you you want to call them individually though, like certain things? Oh, I just call them by their last name.
That's a good one. I was waiting for it. I was like, he's gonna say something. That's amazing.
Woo, that's a good one. No, absolutely. I've seen that, and I've seen people who just, they don't have any drive or ambition. And this is, I'm sorry, millennials, I'm one of you, but dude, you will have no ambition. You will sit there sulking in self-pity all day, not doing a dang thing. And then when you happen to get a job, you don't really work as best as you can at that job. You do enough to get by, and then you go home and you're wondering how come your boss isn't very appreciative of you. You know?
And not only that, not only do they not work very hard, they don't show up on time, meaning early, because early is on time and on time is late.
Right.
Because I've seen this firsthand. They don't take initiative. They wait for you to tell them to do, you to do every little thing, every little mundane detail you have to tell them to do.
Yep.
Here's a tip for you millennials out there. And I know I'm an old guy, and man, I'm just not cool. But here's a tip for you. If you want to succeed in the job workforce, look for something to do before your boss tells you.
Yeah, no, but let me explain something. Like, it's like you're sitting back and you're wondering, I can't afford anything. I can't. Oh, I'm not making any money. It's like, firstly, I know you're not saving it. You know, it's like all my friends who were sitting there complaining to me, hey man, could you cash out me, like, could you please just sport me like 50? Could you please like sport me $500, dude? I get it a lot, especially with women. Women aren't exempt. You know, it's the same thing, and it's just the difference with the women is they're using, you know, they're trying to use that pity side of men. So don't fall for it, because they ain't gonna pay you back. But anyways, the main thing is, it's like, and then they complain. They sit back and they complain, well, boomers have made this world for us, and they don't appreciate our hard work, and so we just need to vote the right people in to set things straight again and give us our good comeuppance. Yeah, you're full of it. Entitled, even. Entitled little brats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
instead of thinking out your situation and finding a rational, achievable goal, going to trade school, you know, maybe going into an apprenticeship where there's actually work, you know, or suffice
I wanted
to
to
say
be a web
livable
designer
wages.
with gender studies. That ought to pay well.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, good luck getting your friends to be like, yeah, sure, here's $20, draw this for me, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, no offense.
That being I mean, like, it's good, you know, if you're well known and you're good at it, but it's one thing to be up and coming in an oversaturated market.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably, I mean, it's such a huge market, you know.
Yeah, but that's just it. It's like there's just poor decisions upon poor decisions, and like so on and so forth, and then you have all these stupid people blaming the world for their problems that the world owes them. That is, you know, that is the difference between being poor and being rich. Is really just a mentality. It's like, no, nobody owes me. I'm just gonna go get it.
Yep. You know how selfish it is to think everybody owes you anything?
Yeah.
That is
I'm black.
inherently
They owe
selfish.
me. Or I'm white. The black people owe me. Or I'm just who I am. I'm this age, so old people owe me. Or I'm old, so young people owe me. You know, it's all it's garbage.
You guys hit it on the head with talking about oversaturation of the market. And my advice to folks out there that are listening is try to find something. The more niche you can find of something that you're good at,
and you are willing to just go 100%,
the better.
I mean, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear about the New York plumbing guy? This guy, he literally went around New York, like the Chicago area, somewhere towards the East Coast, and he basically, nobody at the time had like a really solid, I think it was something really, really specific for plumbing, and he is now like a multi-million-dollar business owner in the New York City area.
Isn't that just the gorgeousness of Americanism?
Exactly.
So I sit back, it's so beautiful.
Led for that company. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
That's America in, like, no matter where you're from, no matter what you're doing, if you have an idea, you're free to do it.
Yeah.
You know. So, but on the other note, and I'm kind of leading this in, I had a very interesting discussion with my sister. She actually was on the show a while back, but the audio was all jacked. But I had an interesting discussion with her. So I was saying, because I was bashing on young people for a long time. Now I'm going to bash on the old people. So everybody clap, everybody clap. So, you know, my discussions of like this dystopia we're in of just constant information, constant lies, confusion beyond all known comprehension, like, oh yeah, and genders, you know, just stuff like that. As well as like the young supporting communism and like going to that term. But let's just look at this, right? And it's a bit less of a serious discussion, but I think it's important on a cultural level. You'll see old people, and they'll see a young person on their phone. And that old person just kind of snarls, oh, young people always on their phones playing them damn video games all the time. As you get your workout in your fingers there, bud, you know. So here's the thing, like, and don't take that the wrong way, Dad, but my dad would always come in if I was playing a game and be like, you're getting your workout in your thumbs there, bud. But, there's an interesting point, and I think it needs to be made about, like, people are like, well, how come kids don't go outside anymore? How come they go on their tablets? How come they do all that? Well, I remember growing up in this world, too. In this current society, although it wasn't as publicized, it was still that way. You know, I go outside with my buddies, and I ride bikes or whatever, or have fun on the streets, not really hurting anything. Here comes some boomer out from their front of their house. Hey, what are you doing? What? I called the cops. What? What the hell? You have to run, you know, because the cops are coming, and you didn't do anything wrong. But it's just like anytime kids go outside, people get like scared. People get like spooked. That is like the dystopia manifest. It's like to see kids playing outside is like, I'm calling the police. They're gonna hurt themselves. They're gonna hurt somebody. You know, it's like it's definitely there's Karens on both sides of the spectrum of age and political, left and right. And it's just one of those things that kind of came up in discussion where it's like, oh, those dang kids not doing what we used to do back in the day. It's like, well, you know, you guys would straight up light off, you know, freaking fireworks at 3 a.m. and just kind of laugh it off. But now here you are in your old age, calling calling the cops because a kid did a wheelie in a no wheelie zone.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, it's just one of those things that really bothers me. Like, if I was like, it's just, I bashed on the young, so that's my bash on the old. It's like, I get it, you know, if a kid is genuinely like screwing with your property and stuff, go ahead, you know, call the cops or whatever.
That's within reason.
Yeah, within reason, but like, if a kid is just kind of like, if they're laughing with their friends outside, you know, they're playing like street hockey or something. Oh, but they didn't let you know that they're going to be playing street hockey on your cul-de-sac, so it's a big issue. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of this, again, entitlement garbage. And it's like,
I know, dude. It's just this weird, like, supposition bloomed into, like, an actual, like, concern. It's like, just leave them alone. They're going to be fine. Like, 90% of the time, they're not going to do anything bad.
Yeah. And it's like,
I mean, my brother's told me some wild stories of people just yelling at him, and they were literally just walking down the street, and they don't do anything. They just walk.
4th of July. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just lighting off fireworks on 4th of July, and someone across the way from your house, you're gonna hurt yourself and blow your fingers off. You know, it's like, get out of here, man. That's my bash on the old people, though. So, you know what, old people? Lighten up. You know, you used to be a kid once, too.
Yeah.
So, get off my porch.
Get off my porch.
Get off my grass.
And that's really something I don't understand. I guess I've never really taken the time to get perfect boomer grass, I'll call it. I gotta say, boomer grass is nice. But what's the point of grass if you don't want nobody walking on it?
Right?
It's like, what? Like, I mean, I get it. You know, you want that grass for you and your family. That's cool. That's cool. And if
Here's
that's
the-
the case, if you walk on it, that's cool. But if you're like, you don't even let your kids walk on it, you're demented.
I think it's more along the lines of, because I've seen this before. Like, say you got a front yard that connects like to an alley, and kids walk over the top of your yard every day. Like,
Yeah, and it
to
just
get to this
ruins
alley.
it. Yeah.
It's just gonna make a trail, and the
Mhm.
grass is gonna die. I kind of think that's where it kind of stemmed from.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, like, not everybody who's like, hey, man, stay off the grass is like a total dick. He's just like, hey, don't ruin my grass, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine. But there is certain context, so it's like, I do think it's kind of funny. It's like, these kids, they need to go outside and do fun things like we did when I was a kid. But not that. Don't do the things we did as kids. Come on. You know.
Yeah, I know. It's
So
ridiculous.
that's just kind of an interesting cultural, like, there's
They
many
walk
factors and
over this
facets.
grass.
Dennis the Menace type beat. Yeah.
Tastes like paint and wood. Dude, I love that movie so much.
Freaking
Oh,
turns
man.
that shop vac in reverse and pulls
Yeah.
that ball into his nuts.
Yeah.
Oh!
I had such a
Yeah.
good childhood. Goodness.
Absolutely, man. It's just one of those things. There's a lot of, like, facets to, like, the dystopia we're in, but do you have a surviving bit, War Spirit, for tonight?
Well, yes. So I had several individuals this week just message me, um, just because they're getting worried about certain events, and they live in big cities. And we know from this past year, from the riots and everything, that everything can go south in big cities really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And so I got to thinking, what would I do if I lived in a big city and I wasn't smart enough to get out and get moved out of there before everything went down, which is what you should be doing. You should be right now, if you live in a big city, California, Florida, New York,
Chicago,
Chicago,
Baltimore.
Pennsylvania, Illinois,
Yep.
you should be working on getting out of those big cities and finding.
Especially. Okay, yeah. Especially if you're a Christian. I cannot make that clear enough. It's like, you know the world, where it's going, what's going on, why this is all happening, and you're a Christian, right? You know the context here. So why aren't you doing anything? Like, have you no faith
Right.
in the word? Like, look around you. It's obviously happening right before your eyes. Have you no faith? Move out now. Get out of there. Sorry. Go ahead, War Spirit. What were you going into?
So, whether you're a Christian or not, if you see the country going to hell in a handbasket, you need to be getting into smaller, rural areas because those are going to be safer. When everything goes down, rural areas are going to be the last to see the trouble.
Yep. As well as
But if
resurgent.
you live in Sacramento, California, LA, you're going to be in a world of hurt when everything happens.
Oh, yeah.
With that said, I got to think, I was like, well, look, say that I kept my head in the sand. I didn't listen to the warning signs around me. Didn't read the writing on the wall. What do I do? So let's all take an imaginary journey, audience. You work in a software development company. You're a dev in Silicon Valley. You wake up one morning and nobody's car's working. Nobody's car's running. Your electricity's out. What the heck? Yeah, look at your neighbor, because see, you're kind of upper crust, upper class. So you live in like the suburbs. Your neighbor Hank across the street, his stuff doesn't work either. You're like, wow, that's really odd. I've heard of brownouts and stuff, but my car won't even start. What's going on? And your neighbor said, well, maybe it was one of those EMPs. It's tinfoil hat stuff. I don't think that's what it is. But lo and behold, a couple days pass. It's getting hot because it's getting summertime. There's no AC. You're like, wow, I need to get out of the city. My brother lives in a rural area in Arizona. I'm going to see if I can make it there. Well, where do you go? Don't use the freeways.
Yep.
Stay off of the freeways. Even on foot, stay off of them.
They're
Use
just
the
bad
side
news.
roads.
Yep.
Yes.
Unless you started moving within that first day, like literally the hour it happened, stay off the freeways.
Exactly.
And like,
Yep.
so I can kind of attest to, if you like, like right as it happens and you start moving, you probably got a few hours before the freeways are a no-go.
Well,
Mhm.
Because
here's
everyone else is going
in
to be like,
this-
what?
in this scenario, because
You woke
I mean,
up.
you know as well as I do, the Californian freeways stay full day and night.
Mhm. Yep.
If an electromagnetic pulse hits, all those cars are going to be blocking everything.
Yep. The only way you're going to get through is on
even
foot.
if you had a vehicle and were fortunate enough to build one that was EM proof,
Yep.
you're not getting through there.
Not happening.
You might still be able to get through even though there's cars in the way on the side roads, though, because you can kind of go around stuff. You can weave around. If I lived in a big city, I would definitely invest in a really nice mountain bike,
Oh, yeah.
because they do not take fuel.
And you can go anywhere.
You can go literally anywhere.
Yep.
Yep.
Easy maneuverability. Yep.
And so use your mountain bike, get through the side roads, and get out of LA as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And do not, under any circumstances, travel at night.
That's a bad idea.
'Cause
Because there's going to be a lot of people who might have the same idea as you, but they're not within your best interests.
Well, there's starting to be more and more people, even in California, that are what they call are part of the boog community. And trust me, the boog community are not your allies.
Nope.
For the most part,
Because
no.
there is a ton of people on night vision forums that have already said, the reason I bought my PVS 14 is when stuff goes down, I'm just going to sit down in a bush and shoot people as they go by and take their stuff.
Yep.
So you do not want to be traveling at night, because the
Nope.
country is already full of dingbats. They're going to be trying to pick you off at night with their night vision and their IR laser.
Yeah. Yeah, no, night is not the way to go. You've got to be able to identify your threats. Definitely be
Sight
able to...
is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, if you just have to lay low somewhere, maybe not exactly even a building or anything, or if a building, see if you can at least barricade a door with the junk inside that building for the night or whatever. You know, there's a lot of options. That's what I like about this world. You got a lot more options than a game. You know,
Right.
you can work with it.
It's truly a sandbox,
Mm-hmm.
because you can come up with answers that maybe if it was a game that the devs never thought that you would come up with.
Yeah, it's the ultimate laser tag match, dude.
Correct. And with that being said, again, get out of the city as soon as possible. Get into the hills, get into the countryside. You can plan your next move from there.
Absolutely.
But there's not
And-
going to be the Blood and the Crips aren't going to be out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. They're going to want to take over of that city. Lawlessness and craziness is going to go in those cities. It's going to be like Ugandan, like warlords. Like it is going to be like warlord territory. If you're caught on turf, but then again, like I was saying, this all kind of blends together because I can guarantee you as well, you know, the warlords might have their day, but it ain't going to be long because the overbearing government aid, quote unquote, put that in quotes, is going to wipe them out.
Right.
You know, and then you're going to have basically probably the New World Order, the UN or something, patrolling the highways and freeways and lowways and byways with helicopters, tanks, planes, dirt bikes, whatever. So you gotta kind of get out of there. Like if you haven't already, by the end of it, you know, warlords. You'll be praying for warlords because warlords are usually ill-equipped and stupid. The New World Order is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. Sorry.
Definitely a force.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things to consider here. What to say? Yeah, I don't know too much about Urban Escape other than it's all kind of like something you got to figure out.
Another thing that is really, really handy if you live in an urban environment, most commercial faucets outside of like commercial buildings, they take a special T-wrench. They got different sizes on them. It looks like a cross.
Yep. I know exactly
You
what
can
you're talking
buy
about.
these at any industrial plumbing supply store. So not necessarily like your Lowe's or something, but if you have a plumbing supply store that like actual plumbers go buy from, like here in the Farmington area, there's one down San Juan Boulevard.
Salmons?
That no,
Wait, is that a ceiling? No, that's a light bulb store. Never mind.
that's not down San Juan Boulevard. It's right close to the electrical place. I forget the name of it. But find you an industrial plumbing supply store and ask for a commercial faucet wrench. They will sell to anybody. You can go in there and they'll sell to anybody.
Yep.
Get you one of those. Throw it in your get home bag. If you live like in LA or a big city like that.
Yep.
Or even even if you're just like in the middle of Farmington, because it still would be useful there.
Yep. Because I mean, that's the thing is like the tanks that are actually holding municipal water have, you know, thousands of gallons still, you know, tens
Correct.
of thousands
even
of gallons
after
in them.
everything's shut off.
Exactly. They don't need power to run. They use gravity.
Correct.
Mhm.
So that you can get water, fresh water, clean water for a while with one of those wrenches.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Open
I
up
like
a
that
faucet
idea. I
on the
didn't
side of
think
a
about
dense
that.
building.
But
Yep,
also,
and you can
invest
just
in
drink
life
up.
straw. That might be nice too.
Well, yeah, especially if you're in a more rural environment and you find stagnant water even in a urban environment.
And I mean, you should have a life straw regardless, because I mean, even if you like, you say you find a puddle like in a park or something,
Yeah,
you know,
like
you can still drink out of that.
Yeah, like there's fountains. There's always fountains in big city parks.
Correct. And that would be very handy. But that T-wrench, I would say in a city environment would be even more important than a life straw.
Oh yes, absolutely. Sorry if I was making a racket there. I was opening windows. It's actually really freaking hot in here.
Very, very distant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so there's some tips for you for urban survival. Another thing for urban survival is there's a company out there that's called ITS Tactical. And ITS Tactical sells what the Bottega entry tool set. It's a rake and a tension wrench for simple locks. Very important to be able to get doors open in that type of situation. Say you were trying to make it through LA and you saw like a warehouse that you knew was like empty, but you wanted to like spend the night in there to get off the street from the roving gangs. You just pull out your Bottega entry tool set and pick the lock and go inside there. Because once everything goes down, you're not going to worry about like breaking and entering is not going to be
You're trespassing. Oh no.
Yeah.
Chances are most of the people like who own those warehouses have probably already skedaddled.
They've already bugged out. Yep. For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
And so a industrial warehouse would actually be a really safe place to spend the night if you could get in there.
Oh yeah. Especially if it had it's just all kinds of
gangs aren't
options.
going to be thinking about hitting those places. See, because the first few nights they're going to be hitting Walmart, Target. They're going to be looting from all those places. So like an industrial, like a lumber supply store or something, they are not going to be hitting the lumber store.
Oh well, yeah. Like if it's a lumber store.
I was talking about the guy that wanted to get his Nikes.
Yeah. All right, dude. Yeah. I mean,
he's not going to be hitting the lumber store, John.
I have to say, I'd also just be willing to maybe camp out with the South Koreans. That might be a viable concept too.
Rooftops.
If they'd accept you, they might shoot you.
Yeah, they'd be like, you stay away from me, round eye. Yeah.
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 But so get you. The cool thing about the Bottega set too is they are made of titanium, so they won't break and they won't bend. I own a pair. I've been messing with them a little bit on different simple locks. I can pick my house door with it relatively easily.
Yeah.
Just a good thing to have in your set, and they weigh nothing. Also,
yeah, exactly.
So those are two two things there. An industrial water T-wrench and a Bottega entry tool set that would be really pivotal, especially if you lived in any kind of a city environment.
Yep. Crucial to your survival.
Yeah.
Correct.
Good.
You guys got anything else?
Yeah. I'm probably going to go ahead about wrapping it up with Moments in History special. Probably not going to get too much into it tonight. Just something that I was going to talk about last week, but we couldn't. As you know, I have a very soft spot in my heart for a town in the Ukraine that was heavily affected by communist engineering called Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a nuclear disaster in 1986 that killed a lot of people, about 30,000 total, and left an entire town abandoned and countless children with numerous medical issues that still exist today. You can find different charity groups such as Chernobyl Children if you are interested in looking into donating for a noble cause. But keep in mind there are many causes. This is just one that they have a lot of specials right now because it was very close to the anniversary, which was April 26, 1986. Many heroes from different countries were summoned by the evil Soviet Union, who was to blame, who laid down their lives upon the altar of humanity, what is right, to save the world from radiation apocalypse. Liquidators, I remember them well to this day. Many different Russians, many different Ukrainians and different Slavics who did with all they could, either at gunpoint or otherwise, to help clean up the mess that their government at the end was responsible for. So, as a memorial to victims of communism, and a memorial to those who had given their lives in this tragedy, I'll go ahead and end us out in a song about Chernobyl that I have queued up on youtube.com. The artist is Song by Mad Theory. So the name of the artist is Mad Theory. You can find this on YouTube. Thank you for listening, everyone. Would you like to lead us out, Worsprint?
Absolutely. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day, Father God, and I thank you just for everything you've done for us, Lord. Lord, I thank you for my brothers that do this podcast with me, and I just pray that you just bless them, Lord. Lord, I pray that you bless every listener listening to our podcast and also looking at our Facebook page, and that we would be used to give them good quality information, Lord, that could very well save their life one day. Lord, I pray for this nation, Father God. It seems like it's getting worse and worse every day, Lord. I pray that those of us who see that would be prepared and be ready for the literal day. Thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can find our Facebook page at facebook.com/ITTDM. And plenty of other information. You can always message us via the page. You can also drop a comment and a like and a subscribe. That would mean the world to us, as we are a growing media outlet trying to bring truth and survival tips to a broader audience. So thank you, everyone, for joining. God bless you. We love you. Share us around a little bit. So, in memorial to the heroes that served in Russia and Ukraine on April 26th, 1986, and for on. Have a good night, everybody. Mad Theory.
In this world that could still produce such unquestioned sacrifice. Hold my hand, we're going in. We dive in water with the lamplight flickering. Heavy water burns my skin. I can feel the sudden change. Going under, going under, going under, going under. In the depths when light starts to fade, feeling weak from the radiation. We both know the price that we pay to give some hope to this crumbling nation. Going under, going under, going under, going under. No one will ever know the sacrifice we made. No statues in our name, no ticket tape parade. And we can only pray it wasn't all in vain. Was it all in vain? Was it all in vain? hideous evacuation. Final words will never be said. Trapped in a tomb of contamination. Going under. Going under. Going under.